Like, what would you tell these young guys? Like, you see the era, you see how things have changed.
Word.
You talk about NIL.
Yeah.
You talk about G League. You talk about all these other opportunities. And now you got all these young guys here, and they're trying to figure out how to get to where they need to go to. Like, what's your, like what would you tell them?
Man, my advice to all young kids is always put your value in the work. At the end of the day, man, the work gonna outshine everything. I'm from a small town called Malden, South Carolina. It's like nothing. It's like Greenville. Greenville's the bigger city, but it's a little subsidiary of Greenville, and no one knows where that is.
Right.
They know where it's at now because of the work. And I always say that if you're good enough, they will find you. And at the end of the day, when all this shit shuts down and the lights go out and they no more clapping, the work gonna always be there. I always tell young kids too, man, ask questions. I don't think young people ask enough questions.
Yeah.
I don't think young people are curious enough. I think they sit there and they play cool, and I think to ask the question makes them look, vulnerable or whatever.
Yeah.
But the question that you don't ask may be the question or the answer that you need to be able to, you know what I'm saying? But I always like to stick to the work and stick to the intangibles that got you here.
Yeah.
All that new shit you doing, that shit that you weren't doing before you got here, lose that shit. People try to put a bunch of fat on you, and you gotta be able to, you know, maneuver and know that, nah, that ain't me. That's why I fuck with you. Because I know what you are, and you've always been consistent with that. What's your advice to a youngin' that's going to be able to make some money for not only him and his family? What's your advice to somebody that's going into like new money and stuff like that?
Well, I
on
mean,
this level?
Well, it goes to your point. Like I say, like, first of all, I'm happy that young people have opportunities. You know, this game makes a lot of money off of young people.
It do.
So I feel good that they have opportunities. But you can't let that money move you and make you make decisions. Like you gotta think of success and opportunities, and then you gotta think of long term, right? Because at the end of the day, like, you know, that sometimes that money that you get right away, you may not be around the right people. Right, so then the values, and because it's long term, like money comes and goes.
True.
But at the end of the day, like, how do you prolong it? How do you create a career? You know, for when you're 30, 40, and I know it's hard for young people to kind of decipher that, but at the end of the day, like, you know, we were lucky because we didn't have all that, so we played for the passion. I played because I want to show you I'm better than you, and I played because I want to win. I want to show you I can beat you, and I want to show you I'm better than you. So money, even the pros, like, you know, growing up, man, I didn't know I was a pro until, like, I remember my freshman year in college, you know, give them the patent against Georgetown, and what's my man Al McGuire said, "A star is born." And then I went home and I saw that and I was like, wow, I might be a star. Like, dang, I might be a pro. But this was during my freshman year. And so I never, you know, which I think gives you an advantage. And I think that's why you see a lot of, like now, you see older kids or older young people making it to the league and sustaining it and actually getting on teams and playing right away, right?
Yeah.
Because there's, you know, you look at Damon.
Who, Lillard?
Yeah, Damon Lillard. Like, you know, he came out of nowhere, but you can hear his
spirit.
You can hear his experience. You can hear that people thought he wasn't. You know, you got Paul George, you got all these guys.
Carried that shit.
But they had to get better.
True.
Right? And people doubted them. So now you get the younger people and everybody tell them they're great and they give them everything and do everything for them. Well, sometimes now you don't, like you said about asking those questions, well, how you gonna ask those questions? Because you already think you know it. You already think you're going to be there. So there's no questions to ask. You know, you better ask me a question. You know, so, you know, the NIL and, you know, all that is great, but like don't lose focus of like don't lose focus of the long-term goal, man. Because how many of us make it?
Right.
You know, so a lot of these guys that are the best and you see all this, well, and everybody ain't making it. Now what you do? I look at myself, if I didn't, you know, I went from college, if I didn't make it to the pros, I don't know what you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
You figured it out.
You know, but what I did know, I'm in the gym, I'm in the parks, I'm competitive as whatever. And so like basketball, whatever you want to say about me, I was, you know, I did, you know, I was on these courts, you know, I was in the gym, I was jumping heavy ropes, carrying heavy, you know, the punching bag around the gym 50, 60 times. You know, I did all that, you know? So my motivation was, I'm trying to get better. I want to be better than you. I want to go out in the park in New York City, which is my city that I love. I had to go in the park and compete with people. And so I had to do all these other things. So my mind was all about like trying to be the best, you know? And money and, you know, I mean, I was green. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Me neither. I was just...
So that gives an advantage. And I think, again, the NLI thing is fine. I'm glad people get money. But, you know, just really think out your decisions.